So it is quite close to the end of this very tumultuous year. The stress this year has been unlike any I think I've ever experienced. But of course, we have had this amazing conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter. This creates a sort of a Christmas star, right? That it's given so many of us excitement and hope and inspiration. And I do hold out some hope for this next year, but the next few months are still likely to be quite challenging. There are so many unanswered questions about the virus and the vaccine and even our political stability. All of these things make it just so difficult to just allow ourselves to relax and enjoy this joyful holiday season. Part of that being that, of course, many of us have lost friends and family members to the virus and, of course, to other effects of the pandemic, or we've lost our homes or our jobs, and it's just really, really challenging. It's probably one of the most challenging times in our nation's history. And in the middle of this, we are extremely divided and stuck in this cycle of egocentrism that makes us like point fingers at each other, point fingers of blame. And I'm tired of it. And I know that you all are tired of it too. I am, of course, Melody Brooke. I'm a counselor and a filmmaker and an author. And of course, I'm an actor and a mom and a grandmom. I'm lonely too, right? I'm not finding many interactions with loved ones that are available to me during this time, as I am, like most of you, remaining cautious and careful to do what I can to keep myself and others safe. So this is likely to be one of the most solemn Christmases any of us have ever experienced. Finding joy in this time has to come from within ourselves. Finding a way to make peace with our past, with our current situation, and the uncertainty of these times and of the future. It's certainly challenging for all of us. And regardless of your political affiliation, the uncertainty of what will happen over the next 30 days, it creates this sense of instability that we're not used to experiencing here in the United States. Our nation has always been based upon this sort of safe, peaceful transition of power for the past 244 years. That in itself is a tremendous achievement. There's just few other nations in the world that have been able to accomplish that. So my prayers, among many for those suffering from the effects of COVID-19, are for our great nation to continue to proceed as it has for the past 244 years and have a peaceful transition to the new administration. You know, having witnessed the horrors of what civil war can do to a modern civilization, like what happened in Syria, it has made it very clear to me that I do not want that to happen to my beloved United States of America. I know that you don't either. So let's agree to pray for civility and unity as we go forth into this new year. So the opportunity that has been these past 10 months is for us to go inward and to discover the joys of connecting with ourselves. That's, of course, a very difficult prospect for those of us who have not formally been introduced to our inside world. Prior to March 2020, there are not many of us who've been that focused inwardly, except maybe monks and nuns, I suppose. But for most of us, looking inward means facing the demons of our past, the lack of self-love that we might have inside, the lack of self-awareness. And sometimes, of course, the pain of loss and betrayals and abuse that maybe have been hiding behind our anxiety and our busyness. So couples who don't use this time to explore their own wounds often end up projecting those wounds onto each other. And the isolation of the past 10 months has brought that to a head. So anxiety and depression, of course, can be worsened when you spend too much time alone, if you don't know how to find yourself as good company. How do you do that? That was a question that was asked of me recently. How do you do that? So what you do is you have to learn to quiet your inner self-critic and begin to acknowledge those things that you're doing for yourself, which are actually examples of how you are caring for yourself. For example, do you work out? So remind yourself you're doing that because you love yourself, because you want a stronger, healthier body to live in. Do you eat well? Do you play music you enjoy? Do you decorate your living environment? Do you brush your teeth and comb your hair, take showers, use lotions and skincare products? All of these things can enhance your experience of self-love when you take the time to remind yourself that you're doing these things to care for yourself out of love for yourself. So while this isolated period of time forces us to be with ourselves and with our significant others more intensely, it also provides this unique opportunity to reinvent how we experience ourselves and our partners. So remember, I want you to think back to that time when, if you have a partner, that there was that time when you first got together when you just couldn't spend enough time together, right? So now we're, of course, challenged to find time to feel grateful for the time you have. But it truly is a brilliant opportunity to discover yourself and to stop taking things personally. Examine where your reactions are coming from and what you're projecting on others that created that upset that you're experiencing with them. And then to rediscover the love you have inside of yourself, and for your partner. We're also no longer focused on appearances so much, right? Much of our culture in the USA has been about living in the biggest house, having the biggest car, the most expensive car, the most name brand or designer clothes. And now most of us don't even bother to get dressed fully for work or just start up our cars more than once or twice a week. So there's certainly no time or opportunity to show our homes off or our cars too. So this creates this unique moment in time where we can focus on what actually matters in the long term. Ironically, most of us humans don't begin to kind of let go of those worldly things until we are near death. So this can be a chance to become aware of the realization that all that stuff that we formerly believed to be so important, we can let go of. We can reprioritize. We can begin to really connect with what is important, to reach out through the miracle of the internet to connect virtually to our loved ones and share in experiences together if we choose. My Thanksgiving allowed me to virtually connect with almost all living members of my family virtually and at no additional cost. While in past years, I might not have actually been able to even see those people. I mean, I could have. The technology was there. It's been there for a while, but now it just seems so much more important to do so. So maybe you could set up a virtual meeting for a few hours on your computer or phone or tablet so that you can connect and celebrate with people you might not have been able to see in person in pre-COVID times. This actually ends up being a gift, which, should you choose to participate, could incredibly increase the value of this holiday in terms of the connections that you have in a way that you haven't considered previously. Celebrate your holidays in a unique way for you and your family. Find a way to connect with loved ones and share what really matters to you with them. All the material things we used to think of as so important seem to vanish in terms of value when we stand on the brink of so much death and suffering. Make make more phone calls, make more virtual calls, connect with loved ones this year, especially the elder ones, since they are at higher risk of being lost over the next year. Spend your love by spending your time. It doesn't even matter what you say or that you don't know what to say. Just reach out and share your irreplaceable, beautiful self. Thanks for joining me. I started off a few minutes late today because I just kind of lost track of where it was and what time it was. But anyway, I'm happy that you're here. Let me put my glasses on and see who's here with us today. Tizzy, hi. Thanks so much for being here. Hi, Sue Parker. Georgette, thank you for the Merry Christmas. Michael, Fifi, thank all of you for being there. And I will be back. I will show up next Tuesday at 4 also to sort of be a precursor to bringing in the new year that hopefully will be more glorious than this past year has been. And I love all the ideas that have come from this conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter and the beautiful star that it created in the sky that gives us that sense of rebirth, of a renewal, of a possibility for the future that we need so desperately right now. These have been extremely dark times for the world, and most especially here in the United States. So for us, this is perhaps a little light of hope in a time that's really dark, and brought us this light in this time of darkness. And I'm so grateful that it happened this way. I'm awed by the fact that it happened this way. So if you want to know more about me, I'm at melodybrooke.com. Please share this message with anyone that you think it might be useful to share it with. And I will see you next week, Tuesday at 4 o'clock. Hopefully I'll be a little bit better timing-wise next week. But I will see you then. Have an incredibly beautiful, connected Christmas holiday. I'll see you next time.